Hello everyone. I've made a few videos about FaceFusion already, but I want to talk about a part of it that I rarely ever mention, or if I do, it's usually negative, and that's frame enhancer. Not to be confused with face enhancer. Frame enhancer for FaceFusion greatly increases the render time of any of your projects, and generally, I personally never really have a use for frame enhancer on the projects that I'm working on in FaceFusion. You see, frame enhancer is a video upscaler on its own. So if your video is too small and you need it to be larger, then this can actually be pretty useful. But as I stated before, I generally never use it with my FaceFusion projects as the video is already at the resolution I need it to be. But there have definitely been times when I'm working on some video that has nothing to do with face swapping that I need to increase the resolution. And that's where this tool can be quite handy on its own. First off, yes, there are many other options out there. The three more popular ones are probably Topaz Labs, AVC Labs, and Pixop. The problem with these are very simple. They can all be quite expensive. The first two, Topaz Labs and AVC Labs, are software that you download to your computer and run locally. Topaz Labs has a one-time fee of $299, which doesn't sound too bad that it's a one-time fee, but the small print also states that its free upgrades of the software are only good for 1 year. So if you want the new versions after a year, time to fork over some more money. And AI is moving at an incredible pace, so the current version will probably be considered terrible within a year's time. AVC Labs is a monthly subscription, so you won't have to ever worry about your software being out of date. However, it comes in at $39.95 a month. So that's $479.40 for the year, compared to Topaz's $299. Pixop, unlike Topaz and AVC, runs on their servers, which means that it will most likely be much faster. And instead of the yearly or monthly fees, you pay as you go. So depending on how much you use it, the more or less you will pay for it. The math on figuring it all out can be daunting and depends on which features you are using and the length and resolution of your video. But they do have a calculator on their pricing page to try and figure that all out. At the end of the video, there will be one bonus service that I'm going to mention that can be considered free.
Your bonus.
My bonus.
But that's going to be for later. Now, before I get into the frame enhancer that's built into FaceFusion, I will say that most likely the three upscalers I just mentioned will be better. That's because they offer a ton of other features and settings. The frame enhancer is a bare bones upscaler that does nothing more than scale up the resolution while cleaning it up so that it still looks like the original video without becoming pixelated at a larger scale. If that's all you want or need, then there's no reason to pay for one of the other services or software. So let's open up FaceFusion. Now if you don't know FaceFusion, make sure to check out one of my videos on it. Here they all are, and I will link to them in the description below. Whether you've used FaceFusion or not, in order to use the upscaler, there are only 3 or 4 things to know in this entire interface to get the job done. Most all of it will take place in this area here titled Frame Processors. But the first thing to do is bring in the video that you want to upscale. Here in the middle is the target. You can either click the square and it will bring up a window to find your video file on your computer, or drag and drop the video directly onto the square. Now back up and over to the frame processors. First, turn off Face Swapper, as we won't be doing any face swapping. Next, turn on Frame Enhancer, which will have shifted to the first spot once you've deselected Face Swapper, so make sure you choose the correct one next. It doesn't help that Frame Enhancer and Face Enhancer are so close in name. With only Frame Enhancer selected, you should now have the option below for Frame Enhancer Model. I haven't bothered testing the last one yet, but feel free to do so on your own, but the first two options are the same, aside from the amount of upscaling it will do. It should be obvious, but the X2 will double the resolution, and the X4 will quadruple the resolution. So if you have a DVD quality video, for instance, you can either double the resolution to HD, or you can quadruple the resolution to 4K. Similarly, if you have a 1080p HD video, you can make it 4K or 8K respectively. I almost forgot. Depending on your system, you will want to turn on Core ML or CUDA or whatever for AMD on Linux. And whatever amount of VRAM you have on your GPU, double that amount for your execution thread count. Though on a Silicon Mac, just keep it at a 1-to-1 ratio. And you probably just shouldn't bother at all if you're using an Intel Mac, as the times will just be crazy. At this point, you are basically done. Just go back over to the middle and hit the big red button titled Start. The output box should come to life, and then you wait. And depending on the resolution and length of your target video, the amount of upscaling you chose, and the specs of your computer, it could take quite a while. As with my example here, it's a total of 72 frames at a resolution of 1024 by 576, and it took a brutal 26 minutes for the 4X. Your mileage will vary depending on your system, so you can watch the progress in your terminal to see how long it's taking and get a good idea whether or not you want to take the time to even continue. Once the render is finished, just click the little download button on the top right of the output image and choose your destination. And that's all there is to it. Let's take a look at the outputs now. First, here's the original video at 1024 by 576. It looks decent, but if you look at it on a larger screen, not so great. Second, here's the one using the X2 Plus, which doubled the resolution of 1024 by 1152. This is a pretty big improvement in my opinion, but this did take 5 or 6 minutes for only 72 frames. And finally, here's the one using the X4 Plus. This one isn't going to look like it's as much of an improvement after the last, but it definitely is. Because this is a YouTube video, the compression is already going to be messing with it, and it also depends on the size of the screen you're looking at this on. If you're just looking at this on your phone, you might not even be able to tell much of a difference between all of them. But just so you can see the difference in actual size, here are the comparisons. Here's the original, then the X2 Plus, and then finally the X4 Plus. So now,
bonus time is just around the corner.
What is the bonus option? Let's go check out the website vmake.ai. There are a lot of other goodies on this site that might interest you, so I encourage you to take a look around afterward. Now, go up to the AI tools and select Video Quality Enhancer. Then, all you need to do is either click here to find your video file to upload, or just drag and drop your video onto the window like this. Much easier that way. And then it automatically starts the process. As always, it depends on your original file's length and resolution. However, one thing that is going to make this much better than using the frame enhancer in FaceFusion is that this is done on their server farms that have much more power than your individual computer. So it should take a much shorter amount of time to render, unless their servers are bogged down at the time for some reason. See how crazy fast that was compared to doing it in FaceFusion? And that's up to a resolution of 2560 by 1440. So that's a 3K video you're getting from this. Now, here is where the sort of free part comes in. You can see two options for downloading. One is to get a 5-second preview, and the other is to download the full HD video. Now, what I like about this is that I normally am using this for really short videos that are created with Pika Labs, Moon Valley, or Runways Gen 2. So if I choose the 5-second preview, I'm still getting the full HD video. However, if you're not doing that, it is still free, but it's just very limited. As you can see below the button to download the full video, it says, costs 2 credits to download. I'm not sure how much this changes based on your video, but you do get 5 free credits, so it's still free, but it's, as I said, very limited. Take a look at the pricing if you need more though. Compared to the other options I mentioned earlier in this video, I think the pricing is a bit better and the credits you have can be used towards some of the other goodies I mentioned before. And obviously, if you still don't want to pay for anything, you always have the face enhancer option with FaceFusion. Real quickly, let's take a look at the upscales from FaceFusion and compare them to the newest one from using vMake AI. I think they both look good. I think it's just more of a preference at this point. And it still comes down to whether you want free for longer videos or whether you're willing to wait the time to do it locally with FaceFusion. Now, At least you know what your options are. Well, that's going to do it for this video. I would greatly appreciate it if you would like and subscribe, and please leave a comment below. Thank you so much for watching, and have a wonderful day.